Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to the 20th episode of Trick Friends. And clearly, you cannot see a cake anywhere near this whole place. So we didn't reach our target of 100 followers. So cake abhi nahi katega. Cake century pe katta hai, and we are 9 short of a century. So let's hope we get to our target before our 21st episode. Like, and apart from that, if you like generally have been following the cricket circuit these days, so सबसे पहली बात ये Sri Lanka lost against Australia. Our condolences for David Warner and the Bale incident. उसके अलावा फिर इंग्लैंड का मैच हुआ and the Stokes Baz era proved their haters wrong once again with a flamboyant innings by Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root, and they actually won, which wasn't really expected when you saw the target initially. So, and at a stage when Lees was playing, and suddenly pehle to Crawley bowled hua Jasprit Bumrah se, and then suddenly um, you realize that Pope went without scoring much, and then Lees had a miserable run out, which I personally think was Joe Root's fault, but he paid for his mistake with a brilliant 140 something. So overall, there are quite some questions that one is to like ponder over. So beginning with this Baz Stokes reign, where Mustafeez has been saying that ye revolutionize karega cricket ko. So Mustafeez, if you look at the whole match, do you still believe? Well, obviously they have won, so you will believe. In your opinion, what's the most special thing about this era that makes you feel कि हाँ यही है the way forward and cricket is going to go through like this?
अच्छा कुछ चीजें मैं क्लैरिफाई कर दूं. Number one, I feel like this is a new way of playing Test cricket, which I don't feel like has been playing consistently before. मुझे याद है पाकिस्तान chased down 300 above against Sri Lanka एक बार 5 के run rate से, and for that was a huge thing. उससे पहले जहाँ तक मैं एक stat पढ़ रहा था, the 5 occasions या 6 occasions where targets have been achieved, मेरे ख्याल से 300 above targets have been achieved with a run rate of 4.5 above. These 300 above, 250 above targets have been achieved with the run rate of 4.5 above. These were 4 of those 6 occasions. ठीक है, that in itself is saying a lot. उसके अलावा एक वेस्ट इंडीज की चीज थी कदीम जमाने में, गॉर्डन ग्रीनविच स्कोर्ड अ ब्रिलियंट डबल 100, और उसके अलावा पाकिस्तान अगेंस्ट श्रीलंका जिसमें मिसबाह उल हक was playing. So home test, away test debate aside, no team has done this even in home tests before. Does that mean that I believe that England की cricketing quality बहुत amazing हो गई है? I don't say that. I'm not saying that, because number one, I still believe कि उनका bowling lineup ठीक है, home में they bowled decent, लेकिन even with their primary pacers returning, I don't see it working out that well away from home yet. मिसाल के तौर पर they did very well second innings में, even against मतलब 5 विकेटों के बाद even न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ भी they started lagging off. even इस टेस्ट में भी second innings में इंडिया बैटेड poorly. इंडिया अगर बेहतर बैटिंग करता तो बहुत बड़ा टारगेट पड़ सकता था, जो शायद इतनी आसानी से चेज ना होता. तो I do feel like bowling wise they still have a lot to work on, although they have improved a lot even in that department in the summer. अगली बात, I feel like अगर ये 2-3 टेस्ट इस तरह की हरकतें करके हारेंगे भी, they will not back out from this approach. I feel like this is something they'll do long term. Whether other teams will follow suit or not, ये बात की बहस है. I feel like there are some teams that are capable of doing it. किसी हद तक New Zealand can do it because of the players that they have, because of the lineup that they have. और उसके अलावा I see India doing it. Apart from Pujara, they do have a lineup that can do it. उसके अलावा I see Australia doing it in the long run. किसी हद तक South Africa, but I wouldn't say कि इस तरह. लेकिन overall I do feel like it gives some batsmen that confidence कि अच्छा इस तरह भी टेस्ट क्रिकेट खेली जाती है. Batsmen such as David Warner वगैरह जो इस तरह खेलने की कोशिश करते आ रहे हैं. But again, I'm not saying कि England की सारी वजह solve होगी. I'm saying कि this is, I feel like they found some niche जिसमें वो अगले कुछ साल खेल सकते हैं. And I do feel like this is the step in the right direction. Okay. That's it.
Mustafeez ending his debate on the Stokes era. Personally, I feel he can make a living out of this whole thing. He can join Star Sports or maybe like BBC Sports and tell them why he's the better person at this. It's actually fascinating how he has so much insight and so much focus on it. I mean, मेरा Pakistan team इतना focus नहीं रहता जितना इसका Stokes है. Important you mentioned David Warner, but I was also thinking the same thing. If you remember the Ashes, Australia were playing at such a high run rate. I mean, Travis Head he would be scoring sixes. His century would be of 80 balls. David Warner was always in a hurry. And if you generally look, even only Steven Smith struggles, like not struggle, he takes his time early on. Even Marnus, he has a knack of hitting shots early on and getting off to a flyer. You would be looking at the scorecard and suddenly you realize that guy who was on 10 of 20 balls is suddenly 24 of 28 balls. So I think this approach has been taken all over the world. The only difference is that they would like hit proper like cover drive, square cut, flick on the leg, whereas England tends to like loft it more. Like if you look at Johnny Bairstow's innings, his inside out was fabulous. Okay, and even on the pole, even if there wasn't a player over there, he would always loft it and like Shardul Thakur. I don't know why he was bowling bouncers. I mean, बंदे को कुछ सोचना चाहिए करने से पहले. And then Siraj as well. Siraj bhai following Virat Kohli. I think Siraj plays for Royal Challengers Bangalore as well. He's like, I'll follow Virat Kohli and I'll join the sledging gang and show him I'm the boss. And इतना मजा आया उसको एक सीधी स्ट्रेट ड्राइव पड़ी जिसमें वो उसको खुद मारने लगा था बेस्ट उसके अगली बॉल पे उसको बाउंसर पे इतनी पड़ी and suddenly he bowled his third ball and it was just a good bouncer that Bairstow left. And he's like going at Bairstow and he's like, you missed my ball and all. And I'm like, यार बंदे को खुदा का खौफ करो यार इतनी शर्म है होती है इससे मुझे एक पांड्या का भाई है कृणाल पांड्या. So he was bowling against Ben Stokes back like 2 years ago in England. He went for 28 runs of 5 balls. And the last ball that he bowled, that was a Yorker. Ben Stokes like just tipped it, like he didn't want to lose his wicket. And he was actually showing him attitude for the last ball. And I'm like, yeah, बस जिंदगी में इस जैसा मुझे मुतमईन होना है. But खैर, enough with.
एक आखिरी चीज मैं ऐड कर दूं इससे पहले we move on from this.
Please, it better not be about this, वरना फिर मैं हार्दिक पांड्या का कोट निकाल दूंगा बाहर.
No, not about this. Just one thing I wanted to add on, which was I feel like this approach, it doesn't matter if other teams start taking it इस हद तक या नहीं, लेकिन it will have an effect on declarations वगैरह. मिसाल के तौर पर generally you're like 330 40 सवा एक दिन कोई चीज नहीं कर रहा, let's declare.
I think now people would realize that test में draw नहीं होना. And I think a lot of credit has to be given to Test Championship as well, where you're judged based on your winning percentage. So now teams don't really go for draws unless Pakistan अपनी home में 500 run बना के draw कर 2 दिन लगा के. Apart from that, teams generally go for the win. They realize there's no benefit in actually getting a draw. Well, I mean, that's better than losing, but still they always try to go for a win. And that is why they set competitive scores. And bowlers have that one last day to like go through the batting line up. And I think credit has to go to Test Championship. वरना इतनी टेस्ट competitive नहीं होती थी. You'll be like अच्छा series चल रही and all. But instantly जैसे ही खत्म हुआ match, I opened the standings and realized, oh, Pakistan has like jumped up a place and India is 4th. Yes. So coming back to Test Championship, Zoha, I think I should ask you more questions related to it. So if you were to pick the two sides playing the final at Lords almost a year from now, without being biased about Pakistan, who do you see playing against Australia? I'm more automatically assuming that Australia is going to be in the final.
Australia automatic qualify kar gaye.
I think they will end up as they are the favorites. I mean, unki win percentage dekho, like you need a miracle at this point.
उनका आगे schedule क्या है? मुझे ये नहीं पता. I mean, if they are playing, who are they playing?
They will play South Africa in December. And I'm banking on them to beat South Africa for us.
Because South Africa बहुत ऊपर है खुद भी. South Africa.
Oh yeah, I don't think वो easy win है. But like honestly, for I mean, टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग ये हमारे सबसे easiest होना चाहिए because हमारी सारी होम सीरीज हैं and we should. But and honestly मैंने सोचा हुआ था ये इंग्लिश सीरीज तो हम जीतेंगे. After Ashes I was like okay ये तो safe है. And now ये जितने भी लोग इस चीज के चैंपियन है ना, they are to blame कि अब हमारे इतने पॉइंट्स भी नहीं. अब like honestly I think we can still win because honestly हमारा bowling attack बेहतर है. They don't have good spinners, they don't have as good a pace attack. So I'm banking on Shaheen and I'm banking on कोई हमें अच्छा spinner मिल जाए till like I mean still I want Shadab to play test. At least we have like a stronger spinning. उनके पास spinners
I
नहीं
think
है.
I mentioned at the start of this question without your personal biases, and suddenly you mentioned
देखिए,
Shadab Khan again.
No,
Please.
we do need. This is like unbiased. Who else do you have an option as a spinner? Zahid Mahmood hai या फिर
Zafar
Shadab hai.
Jauhar hai.
Zafar Gohar, do you want to play him?
Like Shan Masood, he took the most wickets in English county. Then
honestly, I honestly मुझे Zafar Gohar का मैंने इतना follow
I
नहीं किया.
don't know the last time Shadab Khan played a test, even domestic. I have no idea when did he do that.
He will make a comeback. देखना ये एक मेरी manifestation है and I will do the like.
Zoha's like since
मेरा
Baz
goal है.
Stokes
But
Arena हर जगह चल रहा है, so let's just bring Shadab Khan the
no,
white
honestly,
ball.
but I think हमें जिस तरह की हमारी pitches बनेंगी, they might not be as flat जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया की थी, but वो इतनी वो भी नहीं बनाएंगे pitches के.
Well, personally, we are playing against England, who treat their test match as a shorter version of ODI. So I think at this point it would be nice to have Shadab Khan at least Googly पे top edge कोई करा दे या कुछ और. I mean mainstream यासिर शाह अपनी फ्लाइट फेंकेगा तो वो तो बटलर आगे निकल के छक्के मारेगा, बेस्ट तो उसको कहेगा कि भाई आप तो ऐसा करें ना, कदाफी के बाहर खड़े रहे.
That's also a good thing that यासिर शाह को भी उन्होंने recall कर लिया टेस्ट स्क्वाड में. तो Tower has this spinning वाली चीज in his mind कि हमें spinning attack बना लेते हैं and pace attack, then it's just I don't know. But honestly, I believe in Shaheen. हमारे अभी wicket take like honestly bowl them out. That's how you win a test. Bowl them out. Inshallah we will do it. उनकी होती है बैटिंग collapse से फर्स्ट इनिंग में हो गई थी ना, like 284 पे थी but हो गई थी. So we can do it.
देखो, the openers are definitely not convincing at all. I won't lie, even though Lees was playing on 50, I was like, he's just one good ball away from getting out.
And honestly,
and with Crawley, you're like, यार अभी इसको ना वो outside off ball करो, in swing करो, top of off stump. That's the
honestly,
thing. He always has a
it
gap.
makes a difference. It makes a difference अगर आपके opening है वो मतलब 19 पे 2 out है for example, and Pakistan की openings generally plays wrong, and we're like giving 100 not out opening stands. So like that does have a mental impact on the opposition. So inshallah.
देखो, if you look at their team, it's Joe Root, Johnny Bairstow, and Ben Stokes. And if I'm being brutally honest, Bairstow is in the form of his life, okay? And he's just like, थोड़ा सा इंतजार करो, his form will go out. If you remember, he was the same person.
Stokes को खुद ही अपनी विकेट्स देता है. Like what
Stokes को तो वो वाला हिसाब है ना. Pakistan should just look at old videos of Shahid Afridi and be like, how did Shahid Bhai make a mess out of the situation? But then again, I would like to praise Shahid Afridi. I mean, I was watching Ben Stokes in the first innings. Ball कराई bowler ने, it was a slightly slower ball, आगे निकला, straight ऐसे उड़ा दी, ठीक है? It went high in the air, the guy dropped it. I'm like, okay, he won't attempt the same shot again. 2 overs later, आया, straight ball कराई उसने, वो ही आगे निकल के shot मारी. The difference this time was that it wasn't a slow ball, so he didn't like sky it. Straight flat, straight to Jasprit Bumrah, he dropped it. And I'm like, okay, अब इसमें अक्ल आ गई होगी. Now he wouldn't attempt that shot. The very next ball, same thing, same shot, same fielder, but this time he got it. यार बंदे में अक्ल होती, मोमेंट एक दफा डसता है. ये तो भाई इन्होंने तो सोचा ही नहीं ना कि कुछ करना है. नहीं, मतलब दिमाग में वो हम तो सारे अफरीदी को बदनाम कर देते। अफरीदी से अगर एक जगह कैच ड्रॉप हो तो अगली दफा बेचारा वो इनसाइड आउट मार के कैच देता था, ना हो तो वो पुल शॉट मार के कैच देता था। कोई डाइवर्सिटी हो। ही इज लिटरली चैलेंजिंग इन द सेम फील्डर 3 times।
तभी
प्लीज।
तो मैं आपको कह रही हूँ ना, शाहीन जो है वो शाहिद अफरीदी के घर में जाके बैटिंग उसके साथ प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है। ही इज
हाँ
प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर
ऑब्वियसली
बेन स्टोक्स,
अफरीदी इज वेरी लाइक
ही इज
वो कहते
प्रिपेयरिंग
हैं
फॉर बेन स्टोक्स।
एक तीर से दो शिकार, एक तो सुसर को खुश कर रहा है, उल्टा वो बेन स्टोक्स को समझने की कोशिश कर रहा है। ठीक है। और उसके बाद फिर वो माशाल्लाह पुलिस में भी भर्ती हो गया। याद आपको होगा कि बेन स्टोक्स एक जमाने में वो बाहर में लड़ पड़ा था, उसको फिर जेल भी हो गई थी। सो आई थिंक वो ना वो साइकोलॉजिकल प्रेशर भी डाल रहा है कि देखो मैं पुलिस में हूँ, कुछ ऐसी वैसी हरकत करने की कोशिश की तो यू शुड रिमेम्बर कि मैं कौन हूँ। मैं तो कहता हूँ
पर
धार पे कार्लोस ब्रैथवेट भी बुला लेते हैं पाकिस्तान।
वैसे आपका सवाल ये था कि कौन खेलेगा फाइनल ऑस्ट्रेलिया के खिलाफ, और इंशाल्लाह पाकिस्तान, if we use our schedule well, we're doing this.
साउथ अफ्रीका गोइंग आउट और ऑस्ट्रेलिया गोइंग आउट?
Honestly, ये पता है, honestly I'm gonna give a very diplomatic जवाब कि ये साउथ अफ्रीका और ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाली जो सीरीज आ रही है ना, that's gonna be a decider for me, because it's South Africa at home या Australia at home.
It's
South
Australia's
Africa.
home. It's Australia's home.
Oh,
That's why they
that.
don't really have a chance.
If it was South Africa at home, na, then it was a different
I still
story.
remember Dale Steyn going through the Australian batting lineup as if
क्वेश्चन, इंडिया की कोई सीरीज रहती है?
they're not playing a test till the end of this year, if I'm not too wrong.
That I know, yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a test. I don't know how many percentage करा दी है. Yeah, so like if we win our matches,
दो सीरीज है, दो
Like
सीरीज
percentage wise, हमारा chance बनता है. That's what I'm saying. That this is our best shot.
You want me to
So-
read the figures? कि क्या percentage है?
Yeah, but generally what I feel like is South Africa really need to lose bad in Australia for this to
Yes.
happen, and we need to win the series against England and New Zealand.
Inshallah.
So basically,
हमारी
Australia
South
की win
African
percentage
country
है is 77.78. South Africa की है 71.43. Pakistan is standing at 52.38. India is at 52.08. ठीक है, and then this West Indies with 50. ठीक है, so the margin isn't like convincing, to be very honest. So we just need to win all of our matches. But the difference is India has played 12 test matches, whereas Pakistan and South Africa have only played 7.
मैं सच्ची बात बताऊं, we need to start going for wins. Have that mentality. If
that-
there is a win on the card, go for a win.
But
We
honestly,
always try that. But the problem is whenever we go for a win, we forget how to bat. Okay.
अच्छा,
Third run,
yes.
suddenly
We
go.
don't have a tail. We don't have a tail to bat that bats.
No.
Tail,
Look. If you look
Speaking
closely, Shaheen can bat. If I'm being very honest, okay. Naseem can't bat. Okay, even though he can smash one or two, but he can't. So we're just left with Naseem जिसको नहीं आती, Naseem नहीं आती, and Yasir Shah has a test century, even more recent than Virat Kohli's century. So if you look at that, तो tail तो हमारी थोड़ी बहुत है. मसला पता है क्या होता है? जब हम खेलने जाते हैं ना shots, we suddenly forget that there's this fine balance between blocking and attacking, and we just start going after every ball. और वो होता है ना टेस्ट में, you have to leave the balls that are actually like good, and you just have to attack the ones that are like slightly बुरी या off length. We start hitting each ball, और उससे क्या होता है, हमारा निक करने शुरू हो जाता है और हम आउट हो जाते हैं. तो वो मेंटालिटी वाला इशू है. And honestly, Faheem did not get a central contract, and it may sound very unpopular, but apart from the New Zealand series, I don't remember him being good with the bat, and he's fairly average with the ball these days.
But I think वो ना, he's like that. वो बहुत कम होते हैं जो आपको पेस भी दे देते हैं और बैटिंग पोजीशन दे देते हैं. He doesn't play like उस तरह की innings जो याद रह जाती हैं, but he has anchored a lot of our innings. Like I remember, like मुझे उस तरह से distinctly याद नहीं आती. Like I can't recall ये क्या था, but I do have this feeling कि he does like anchor a lot of our innings.
If you remember, it was the New Zealand series, okay? But the slightly disappointing thing is that Fawad Alam also played very good in that series, and he did not perform well after that. The difference
No,
ये है कि
उसने भी
फवाज
तो किया
is being said कि उसकी जगह नहीं बनती टीम में. There are calls कि कामरान गुलाम को लेकर और साउथ शकील को आए, whereas
Khan
Faheem
Masood.
Ashraf Khan Masood as well. But the difference is with Faheem Ashraf, you don't really say that because you do not have a proper replacement for him.
Yeah.
But if you give a central contract to him based on this performance, you're giving a bad signal, in my opinion.
I think I might be wrong, but जो South Africa tour to Pakistan था उसके अंदर भी I'm pretty sure he played really well with the bat. I like मुझे vaguely याद आ रहा है.
Everyone played well. मतलब everyone was racking centuries for fun. पता नहीं
Yeah,
क्या
but-
रावलपिंडी की पिच बनाई थी उन्होंने उसमें. तो फर्क ये उसमें वो सिर्फ बाबर आजम नहीं चला था cause केशव महाराज found his weakness and suddenly you thought oh batting बड़ी मुश्किल है, but everyone was
also-
getting centuries.
वो Faheem Ashraf also like gives you occasional breakthroughs. अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया वाले सीरीज में भी उसने दिया था आपको फर्स्ट टेस्ट में. I think he was the one who broke the partnership. तो वो like एक bowling change आपको मिल जाती है, especially you're like you don't want to go with pace, don't want to go with spin और pace ही चाहिए. Then I think like you don't, वही बात है, you don't have a pace all rounder. Spinning all rounder मिल जाते, pace all rounder नहीं मिलता. वो अब अलग बात है. रिजवान is like now bowling. आपने उसको as a pace all rounder खिलाना है तो that's bad.
उन्होंने मोहम्मद नवाज को टीम में डाला पाकिस्तान में.
Oh हाँ.
Left hand off spinner and a left-handed batter who has been performing well with the bat. There are chances कि श्रीलंका की पिचेस पे जहाँ पे बहुत स्पिन हुआ है, जहाँ ट्रेविस हेड जो है 4 विकेटें ले रहा है मजाक में, ओपनिंग बॉलिंग वो करा रहा है, पैट कमिंस ने एक ओवर भी नहीं कराया सेकंड इनिंग में. It is highly likely that they go with Nawaz and Yasir Shah dropping Faheem Ashraf.
Yeah, but honestly, I do feel that if you're giving Sarfaraz Ahmed a central contract at this stage of his career, तो Faheem का बनता है. He's been a constant. Whether he's not playing well or not, चलो, that's subjective. He's still a core part of your test team. Like he's been playing throughout. उसने I think हर series खेली है the past 2 years. Like I can't recall a series he didn't play. He was either in the playing 11 or in the bench, right? So if Sarfaraz Ahmed is getting a central contract, and
I think they're slowly phasing Sarfaraz out. They don't want to like kick him out immediately, so they're like trying, हल्का हल्का करके निकाल देंगे. ठीक है? That's what I'm making of the situation, because he's getting demotion in each with every passing. He's getting a demotion, so it's not as if you'll expect.
अगर उसको दे ही रहे हो ना, तो then you can also give one to Faheem. Like I don't get it. आपके पास कोई limit थोड़ी है कि इतने players को दे सकते हो. Like just give him a central contract, because you know why? Because otherwise हमारे players के पास इतनी security है ही नहीं. This is like a big thing in PCB. हमारे players like they don't get a lot of monetary compensation उसके अलावा भी, and काफी bad scene है. So like,
but if you honestly look at it in the other way around, isn't that a good motivator? Like you've been demoted, you need to like start picking up your pull up your socks and perform better. ठीक है? Because there is this tendency Pakistan team में होती है कि if you're a starter guaranteed and you generally do not fear कि तुम्हें को निकाल सकता है, you start slacking off. ठीक है? And I personally think even Hassan Ali had the same thing. The way he started slack off, he would be talking when he would be hit for 6 because he knew no one's going to replace him. And suddenly now there's excessive pressure कि निकालो. I think Pakistan में ये tendency होती है.
And then again, like Hassan Ali is still centrally contracted ना, तो उसको फिर भी दे रहे हैं. Then why not?
उसको रेड बॉल के ऊपर अच्छा contract मिला, उसको व्हाइट बॉल पे अच्छा नहीं मिला. Even though
he's in both. He is
in both, but he is the category that he got for white ball. That's not good. Even though he plays both T20s and ODIs, he's still not like up to the level you would expect, considering कि उसको पिछली बार एक contract मिला था across all formats से होता था. I think let's just skip this debate because Mustafeez काफी देर से चुप बैठा हुआ है हमारी वजह से. Mustafeez, now I'm going to talk about a player. Who's my favorite cheerleader at this point. I mean, if I'm going to play a match someday, I'll be like, bro, please, can you come to my place? मुझे cheerleader चाहिए, थोड़ा सा दूसरी टीम को rack up करने के लिए, ठीक है? So I'm talking about the batter who is trying to compete with Yasir Shah in terms of centuries. and he's trying his best, but unfortunately he cannot come to the level right as of yet. But all prayers are for him कि वो किसी दिन उसका record beat करे. Yes, I'm talking about the former king Virat Kohli. What do you make of his performances? And you know, once Mohammad Asif said कि जिस दिन कोहली का decline आएगा वो कभी वापस recover नहीं करेगा. And थोड़ा emotional पेट है क्योंकि मैं आज ही आसिफ की तुम्हारी वाली Facebook शेयर देख रहा था and suddenly I realized कि let's just go past that.
बॉल एमी झूम रही है, कोहली एमी आउट हो रहे हैं.
So your thoughts on Virat Kohli?
Yeah, let's just start off with the fact that what he's achieved, not just in his peak, but ever since he was a youngster till the year 2000.
We're not like saying कि वो बुरा था या नहीं. We're not. The only reason we hate him is because he scored 183 against us in Asia Cup as well. The only reason we hate him is because World Cup में मनहूस हमारे खिलाफ हमेशा perform करता है. It's one of those hate where you realize यार इतना fit बंदा था, काश हमारा ही होता. Yeah. It's not like we disrespect him. It's the fact that he has achieved so much. We're slightly jealous of him.
Letting the Crick Friends viewers know, you know, we really liked him as a player, and we still like him as a player. And obviously, मैं तो चाहता हूँ जो मर्जी attitude हो, I really want him to do better as a cricketer. तो लेकिन जहाँ तक बात है उसकी फॉर्म की, I don't know how to explain it. मतलब तुमने अभी recent wicket देखी है मैट पॉट्स के खिलाफ, चौथी क्या 4.5.
He was leaving the ball and he inside
4.5. अच्छा ये हरकत तीसरे चौथे स्टंप के बीच में, I understand, but that was
it's the sixth stump line
and he's unsure about leaving or playing. And
Prime Kohli would have dispatched that for a boundary through covers. He honestly would have. It was a bang average ball.
Yeah, मतलब इस तरह के, again, lack of confidence, doesn't know what's happening with him. He's making up for it by telling Olivier to shut him and focus. And he focused. Yeah.
He's running around shouting and like saying shut up and focus. Like
I think
इंसान का वक्त बुरा होना ना तो बहुत ही बेचारे का बैड सीन होता है. I still remember when he would like, you know, troll like or like sledge with oppositions, like James Faulkner को बोला. In fact, that he said that to James Faulkner. The chandelier at PC supports this particular statement. Okay, when he said, "Okay, haven't I smashed you enough throughout my life?" I mean, the confidence to say that, and you know, the baller would be like, "मैं काम मुझ पर भाई आप PC में भी ना हो आइंदा इसके बाद." So prime Kohli, when he used to get under the skin of the opposition, like against Australia, they would like bully him, and he's like, "I'll answer with my bat." And I still remember one of his innings where he scored 140 odd runs, and everyone thought that he's like out of his neck and all. So बेचारे का ना वक्त ही बहुत बुरा चल रहा है. When he used to like sledge earlier, he would like get the results that he would want, and no one would like be considered. No one would actually be like, "Hey, यार इसने sledge किया है, बुरा बात है," you know. But since everyone's against Kohli these days, and like even he isn't able to perform well, so everyone's like, "नहीं यार इसने गलत किया." I hate how heroes turn into villains within fortnight. I mean, even Dhoni at the end of his stage, everyone was like, "Why do you have him? He's not fit and all." And you remember the part where he's like, "Sir, I am ऐसा बैठे हैं," during a press conference. He's like, "Do I look unfit to you?" And he's like, "नहीं तो फिर आप क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं?" Even when he got run out against the New Zealand match, the semi-final, everyone's like, "He did not try. He wasn't trying his best." He literally smashed a six before that ball. He's trying his best, and you know we are so ready to turn the same people who we worship into people that we hate. That's quite shocking. I mean, Pakistan में यही culture होता है. Yeah.
You know, there will be a time when Babar will have a bad form. अभी से बता रहा हूँ. Joe Root had his bad time. He recovered. Currently, मेरे ख्याल से Steve Smith isn't batting at his best either. Best क्या think not even close. Virat Kohli has had a
long Labuschagne is struggling these days. Labuschagne is struggling.
But Babar will have his bad time, and you will have so many people saying so many things. मेरे ख्याल से रिजवान का तो थोड़ा बहुत आना शुरू, like he's not at the best form of his life either, and you are seeing people calling for replacements already, which is ridiculous. So मेरे ख्याल से just knowing, you know, sticking with what you have and giving them one thing I do like about India is Kohli को फिर भी chance दे रहे हैं, they're not giving up on him. The team in itself, Joe Root, obviously they never gave up on him.
I think the
ever.
only reason why India is still giving chance to Kohli is because they haven't found a replacement for him. If I'm being bluntly honest, उन्होंने T20 से उसको किस्म का निकाल ही देना भाई. The only reason is every player that they try, तुम हर दफा इनका टीम देखो, हर दफा टेस्ट में कोई ना कोई चेंज हुआ होता है. I mean, and they're going through an injury crisis themselves. KL Rahul injured है, Rohit Sharma injured है, so they're short of batters these days. The day they find someone who can bat at number, 3 or 4 and is like capable of surviving that long, or if they find a good opener, like abhi aap Pujara ko dete, Pujara's opening these days because they don't have an opener. The fact that they don't have a replacement, that's the only reason why I think he's still in the squad. The day they find someone else who's like slightly able to perform, they'll kick him out because he's been disrespected. He's been disrespected everywhere. If I'm not I'm not a big Kohli fan, but I feel sorry for the way people are treating him. IPL में भी उसकी बेइज्जती कर रहे हो, T20 से भी निकाल दिया कैप्टनसी.
Also when he was captain, तो फिर तो बहुत ज़्यादा कर रहे थे. Again, he has a very
he scored 57 against Pakistan in a match where everyone got out, and they're saying कि यार कोहली ने बहुत slow खेला इसलिए हम हार गए. मनहूसों को जब केएल राहुल रोहित शर्मा आउट हो, बाहर निकल के बेन स्टोक्स की तरह शॉटें मारे, वो भी आउट हो जाते तो आप लोगों ने कहना था कि यार ये देखो ना पागल कैप्टन हमारा.
Also उसके विराट कोहली also lost like favor in BCCI ना, just time he was out as captain. He said कि मुझे तो इन्होंने खुद बोला है. Like I think that also is क्योंकि इंडिया का मीडिया is very strong, like lobby जो BCCI की lobby is very strong, so that also because Twitter and everything like वो एक बहुत बड़ा.
I agree with what Zoha is saying, and media even here in Pakistan is very critical. I mean, बाबर आजम से पूछ रहे थे कि वो जो उस दिन सवाल था कि अगर आप फ्लॉप होंगे तो आपके बाद कौन कैप्टन होगा या क्या होगा टीम का. So he's like यार आपके दुआ कर रहे हो कि हम फ्लॉप हो या क्या. तो it's just so immature in some situations. And
बाबर अगर फ्लॉप होगा तो कैप्टन होगा अहमद शहजाद. He said he was promised. He has been robbed. Bring back Ahmed Shahzad.
As the legend himself said, people come to me and say we missed the time when you used to bat. And
I stopped watching cricket since his retirement.
He's exposed.
I only watched cricket. I only watched cricket because when Ahmed Shahzad would do this while fielding, I was like, Pakistan at its best. Fawad Khan, who are you? Ahmed Shahzad is my favorite. But khair, बॉयज आप ना एक दफा जियो पर शो है उस पे ताबिश हाशमी के साथ आया था वो. एमएस शहजाद very hilarious. You need to watch it. Okay, with that being said, I would like to tell you guys about the latest development that New Zealand Cricket Board has done. So basically ये issue रहता है कि gender pay disparity होती रहती है. Men are more likely to earn more than women, and it's common across all sports, even if you look at football, cricket, hockey. But New Zealand cricket has finally decided that men and women will earn the same amount of money. And we would really appreciate it if PCB could also do something like that.
One clarification, small clarification.
Yeah.
The contracted salaries are going to be different. The match day fees are going to be now the same for male and female.
Yeah. I was talking about the match.
It doesn't mean exactly same earn करेंगे because of the contracted salaries. They're going to be different.
But still, it's a good step. Like there isn't another team who has done it, and it's widely appreciated. Even ICC posted about that. So it's a major breakthrough in my opinion. अब New Zealand ने किया, I'm pretty sure Australia will follow because Australia की अपनी टीम बड़ी अच्छी है. Then Australia करेगा तो England करेगा. इस तरह करते करते subcontinent में भी आएगा eventually. Because being frankly honest, everyone deserves support. Like even Zoha mentioned कि financial security is very important aspect in cricket. Like central contract भी इतना important होता है. So if we actually guarantee that, maybe then the obstacles to entry for even women to cricket would actually get like lowered, और फिर हमारी cricket itself जो improve होगी. And on that note, I think it's time to end the episode unless my fellow panelists have something to say. No, I don't think they have anything to say. So once again, thank you, Zoha and Mustafeez, and thank you our viewers for actually watching all of this episode. And I know it was mostly based on England versus India, but after this, Pakistan's going to play against Sri Lanka. So hopefully after Eid, we'll be back with more episodes, and like तब तो proper हमारी खुशी होगी. So thank you so much, everyone. Allah Hafiz.